Welcome back to Observing the Sabbath. I am your host, Nathaniel Molnar, and we are finally taking a look at Sabotage, the 6th studio album from Black Sabbath. I know this has been one that a lot of you have been looking forward to, and I've been looking forward to doing this album. It is one of, for the longest time, Sabotage was my favorite Sabbath album. It has since been replaced by Volume 4. But Sabotage is right up there. That's like a top 3 favorite Sabbath album for me. And I know for a lot of you, it is your number 1 favorite album, and is probably, like, by far, it is the most requested album for this channel that you guys have been wanting us to take a look at. So we've done Black Sabbath, we've done Paranoid, we've done Master of Reality, we've done Volume 4, we've done Bloody Sabbath, and now we are doing Sabotage. Sabotage from 1975. To put us in context, before we get into Hole in the Sky, let's kind of paint us our perspective real quick. So they've done 5 albums. They finished their 5th album, Bloody Sabbath, in 1973. Now, they were putting out the 8 studio albums from Black Sabbath came from 1970 to 1978. They put out 8 albums in 8 years, and there were 2 years that they did not put out an album. One of those years was 1974. So, you have these 20-something-year-old kids put out Black Sabbath in 1970, and they shoot up in popularity, and they start touring the world, and they put out all these albums. They put out 5 albums in 3 years, which is just mind-boggling. 5 albums in 3 years. And not just that they put out that kind of content that quickly, but that those albums are as good as they are, as timeless as they are, that we're still talking about them 50 plus years later. So they put out 5 albums in 3 years. Finally take a year off. And now we get into Sabotage. And the underlying thing going alongside Sabotage, behind the scenes, they're being sued by their manager, and they're going in and out of court. Their contracts with their managers left for them to get ripped off by a considerable amount of money. So as the members of Black Sabbath will tell you, they were in and out of court as they were creating this album. They would record, and then they'd go to court, and then they would record and work on the album, and then go to court. So it was not a very pleasant experience making this album, and which is why it's called Sabotage, because they felt like they were being sabotaged by the people who were supposed to help them creatively. And I think that Sabotage is probably their darkest album. I mean, it's kind of hard to think about it being their darkest album when you go to Black Sabbath, which opens with the thunder and the pouring rain and the dun, 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 but Sabotage really is their darkest album. It's their grittiest, it's their darkest, it's their heaviest album as well. And the things that they do in this album, I really think, as much shit as they were taking behind the scenes, and probably as excruciating as the process was for making this album, I really do think it kind of, I always think that struggle and challenge really can yield the best results when it comes to art. Like you guys know, I always kind of put things in terms of movies because I'm a film person by nature. And so, like, you look at, say, Jaws, the making of Jaws, where they had the giant animatronic shark that they were going to use for the film, and they were going to show a lot more of the shark throughout the movie, but the shark kept breaking down, and they kept having all these issues while they were out in the middle of the ocean trying to film this movie. And all these production issues forced them to become a little bit more creative and make a few more decisions. And what ultimately, those struggles and those issues ultimately led to them creating a phenomenal movie. And one of the strengths of that movie is the fact that you don't see the shark too much. But that reason that you don't see the shark too much is because their shark, their physical shark that they had, broke down. So I think when you look at something like Sabotage, yes, they have all these issues going on behind the scenes that probably made it a time in their life that they probably wouldn't rather think of or remember. But it yielded such great results when you look at Sabotage as a whole and what they're able to do with their album. So let's just jump right in. Let's listen to Hole in the Sky and kick off our dive into Sabotage. And now, I love this little opening part. They do it again. They do it again. Just pull out an amazing riff out of nowhere. I love that. This song doesn't go down in, like, their greatest of all time, but it's such a damn good song. Ozzy's voice is just phenomenal in this whole album, this whole period of time. And the song is short too. It's only, it's like just a little over 3 minutes, so short for a Sabbath song. But it's just one of those, like, it's short, it's sweet, it's just a quick punch, and you get right into the album. His voice is so incredible. The vocals for Sabotage are the best Ozzy's ever sounded on, at least in Sabbath, and probably ever in his whole career. That's just my opinion, at least. And then Tony's just bringing it home with this phenomenal guitar. What a great opener for the album as well. Oh, this upcoming part, I love. Yeah! And this whole, like, guitar solo part is awesome. What a great song. And this whole part is excellent too. Bring it back to their political roots. Living on the profits of crime. All right, fantastic song. I love it. This is just, I love this song. It's such a great. First of all, Sabbath always has such great openers. I've said this many times. They have strong. Their strongest parts of their albums are the opening song, the middle song, and the closer. I mean, if you look at all their albums, like you have Black Sabbath, you have War Pigs, you have Sweet Leaf, you have Wheels of Confusion, which is my all-time favorite Sabbath song, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and now Hole in the Sky. And Hole in the Sky is unique for the album. This is something we're going to talk a lot about as we go through the album. Most of the songs that are not instrumentals for this album, they all have this point where half of the song is one kind of song, one tone, and then it has a dramatic tonal shift halfway through the song-ish. Halfway-ish. Hole in the Sky is the only one that really is consistent, like, all the way through. And they don't let up. Like, I kind of liken the song to, like, a St. Vitus's Dance, or a Tomorrow's Dream, or, you know, one of those songs where, or even National Acrobat, where it's kind of, it plays around, it's a shorter song, plays around with only a couple of different riffs, but it's so effective because the whole riff and just everything about the song is just fantastic. It's like and the best part about it, or one of the best parts, I just love the opening where you kind of have the little banter, almost like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, you go right into it. It's such a great, strong start to the album. It's just a punch of adrenaline. It really just kind of gets you right into it. And I'd have to imagine if you're somebody who was listening to these albums in real time, you had the first 5 albums, and then you had a full year without a Black Sabbath album, which had not happened in the time that they were making music. And so one might have to wonder, well, what's going on? Is Black Sabbath, when I get this record Sabotage and I have this kind of strange looking album cover, is this going to be Black Sabbath? Is this, have they lost their edge? What's happening? And then you start off with this song, and within 3 seconds, oh yeah, this is Black Sabbath. They are back, and they are putting out just as good music as they are putting out on Volume 4, on Paranoid, on Black Sabbath, on Master of Reality, on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but it also has so much more of an edge to it. More of an edge than, other than maybe Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the song that album had. The previous album didn't necessarily have as much of like a striking, menacing edge that this album has, and this song in particular. It's just such a great starter song. It just kind of kicks you right off. You just go right in. It's short, it's sweet, it's all meat, no fat. It's just a great song. It's 3 minutes. You just get right into it. It is a great song. And even though it doesn't have like the switch up that Symptom of the Universe or Megalomania or Thrill of It All or The Writ has, even though it doesn't have that, and it doesn't have all these other parts, it doesn't have the 6, 7 different intricate elements that a bunch of other Sabbath songs have. It only has like maybe 2 or 3 parts that switches between. They know how to construct it. It works so well, it flows so well, it doesn't overstay its welcome, like maybe another song that we'll get to on Sabotage does, but it doesn't overstay its welcome, it's just right to the point, and it just delivers. I think Hole in the Sky, while not like a top 10 Sabbath song, maybe it's a top 15, I don't know, I've probably said that about 20 different songs at this point, maybe it's a top 15. It's just great. And it does bring in that political element. You get so much of that political element with the album Paranoid. You get a little bit of it in Master of Reality. Volume 4 doesn't have it as much, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath doesn't either. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath more gets into like the introspective, sort of existential themes as opposed to political themes. But then Hole in the Sky kind of brings it back to those political themes. And I always think whenever, they don't do it all the time, but whenever they lean into those political elements, I think it always works really well because they know how to do it. They don't oversaturate it, They don't oversaturate the listener with these political themes. They know how to sprinkle it in to be truly effective and communicate a really strong and effective point. So I just think Hole in the Sky is such a great song, It's a great song when you're driving. You just like, I'm driving from here to the grocery store. I just need like a little energy boost to kind of get me going on that drive. I'm going to put on Hole in the Sky, and then you get pulled over for speeding. So, not based on a true story. So anyways, those are my thoughts on Hole in the Sky, the opener for Sabotage. I want to know from you guys, what do you think of Hole in the Sky? Do you agree with me and my thoughts on it? Do you have a differing point of view? Leave all of your thoughts in the comment section. And also, let me know, what songs are you most looking forward to on Sabotage? For those of you who've been writing for weeks now, for months actually, about how you wanted us to talk about Sabotage, what songs are you looking forward to? What are your favorite songs? I want to know all your thoughts. Leave them all in the comment section below. And once again, I'm your host, Nathaniel Molnar. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe for more content, and we will be continuing on through with Sabotage shortly. Johnny Gifford, who helps out on the channel a lot, he will be coming back to talk about a few songs here on the Sabotage album, and he may just be joining us for the next one when we talk about Don't Start Too Late / Symptom of the Universe. So until then, until we discuss those songs, thank you for watching.